Hey, what's going on? This is Chris Jackson from Alt, and you're watching the Courtside Investor Podcast. Totally. I mean, we have to have tight internal controls. That's like one of the things you need in an auction house to remain with integrity and trustworthiness. We're not trying to, inflate a fake market, right? So we're not playing into that. I think it was more. In total value consigned, I think we hit over $4 million. It was quite impressive in a 3-day show. It's pretty unheard of. I was the cash guy too, so I was sweating bullets the whole time. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna run out of cash on day one. Like, what are we gonna do?
Hey Chris, welcome to the podcast. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on, Tang.
Awesome, man. Nice to connect in person in Macau. Look, I didn't expect you to be there, so it was great, man, seeing you in person after connecting with you. I think 3+ years ago for the first time.
Yeah. I think it was like 3 years ago we started grinding on the Marvel PMGs and Serena cards and everything else that was going on during that crazy COVID market.
Yeah, man. Tell me about it. Like, I think if I try to recall, you guys kind of came out of nowhere. So I was just starting out at a time, doing cards, flipping cards, and that was kind of early for me in the Marvel scene as well. So I was just picking up the PMGs, and suddenly, I get this message from this guy, Chris from Alt, which I've never heard of before. We chatted a little bit, and then we ended up doing a deal. So maybe for some context, right? Tell me, how did this all come about? So, how did Alt, came into the picture?
Yeah, I mean, to back up a little bit, our company was founded in 2020. Lior Avidar is the CEO, but I was actually just graduating from college, coming out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, shout out Mustangs. And I was going to go work. I had a finance degree. I was going to go work in Silicon Valley, do like that financial rotational program. But talking with Lior, we had known each other doing card deals since like 2016, 2017. He was collecting Kobe cards at the time, and I was trading and buying from him. So we already had that connection. And in the pandemic, it was just, these cards started to have significant value. And Lior and I are talking, and he's like, look, like there needs to be like a financial institution or something that comes into play to help these collectors with these significant valued assets and do it from a tech perspective. Because all the other companies in the space have been very like operationally based, and that could be a good thing at times, but also to like scale efficiently, we wanted to do it through a tech side, and Lior comes from a tech background. So we kind of set out on this journey to start Alt and essentially be the card collecting company built by card collectors. We had been in it long before Alt was around, and we came in it to add liquidity to the market, because I think that's the number one pain point we ended up hearing from everybody when we started this company was like, look, like, these cards, it could take 3 to 4 weeks to get an item sold online. It takes a lot, like it's a large cycle time to get things from listed and sold to paid and the transaction finished. So we're like, all right, how can we speed up this liquidity time as quick as possible? And like, that's kind of where we landed on and where we're at today. You see the auction house product, you see the lending, really any way possible to reduce that cycle time and increase liquidity. That's what we're here to do. So I know you've known me since 2022, but it's come a long way, even in just those past 3 years. So we're excited to be in the spot where instead of people being like, what do you do? Who are you? People are like, oh, you're with Alt. So quite the flip in the last few years. And it's been really fun to like show up in Macau internationally and people know who you are that, you've maybe met once or twice or never at all. So it's been a cool journey.
Right. I mean, I do see the evolution, right? So I've been following you guys for quite a fair bit, and recently only worked with you quite extensively. So just dialing back a bit, back to 2021, like we mentioned, you started a company in 2020, and then you did your first raise in early 2021, and then a second one towards the later part of the year. And in total, you raised about over $100 million US. So I'd assume that most of the money went into product development, into hiring people. But, how did you, manage to convince investors, that this was, the future for card collecting or collectibles?
Yeah. So early stage companies, especially like pre-seed Series A, a lot of times, sometimes there's not even a product built yet. So a lot of times it's the idea, it's the team, and it's like the belief and the track record. So Lior obviously has a wonderful track record. He has another tech company that did exceptionally well, called Lob. the direct mailing API. So he had a track record already and a lot of great network and investors. So getting the pre-seed, seed, even Series A money was, pretty well known to just go out and raise money in that environment, right? Like he'd done it before. He has a good track record. He's passionate. In those early stages, the investors are looking for someone that, like I said, has the track record, but also is like super passionate. And the first idea doesn't always sometimes pan out. We had to do a lot of things to find product market fit. So it's having a team that's nimble and able to adjust to the market and hear the customer's needs. So a lot of times the early stage, they're investing in the founders, less so about what product's been built. But later stage, once we actually found product market fit, it was a lot easier to tell an investor story with, revenue and the rate at which we were growing. So yeah, later stage came into that part, but Leor's a phenomenal CEO. He leads by example, and obviously has a track record. So that's what played into that for sure.
Awesome, man. So, I mean, when you look at the product today, it's a wonderful thing, right? It has a lot going for it. And it's easy to use. It's a
Appreciate
lot of
that.
people, yeah, a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of thoughts that put into the thing that's compared to other, I would say, conventional auction houses. Okay, but obviously, this was not generation one, so this was a process through time over a number of years. Continue to develop and improve. What would some of the big challenges that you face, in the past couple of years to come to where you are today in terms of the product?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I would say early on, the first year of the company, we were like, we're going to be just this financial institution. We're going to bring in, institutional money. We're going to, be like the bank for sports cards. And we built product lines such as that, right? Like we have my portfolio where it's like building out a portfolio of cards. You could track it like a Robinhood account. And we built some of these features early on because we wanted it. And, I have a finance degree. Lior comes from a trading background. We built it because that was what we wanted and what we thought the industry needed. But fast forward after building the MVP, we come to find out we're like, this market's green, right? Like this is 5 years prior. It was, a bunch of people sitting down. I mean, still at a trade show, but just, less online, more in person, like kind of a more of an archaic space. And just to innovate like that so drastically without touching base with our customers and like meeting them where they're at, we built something that maybe wasn't ready or wasn't the time to do so. So we had to step back and be like, all right, like, what are we doing? This is not what people need. Like, this is not taking, like, what do we need to do to adjust? And then obviously, like I said earlier, liquidity and cycle time. Like I went to for a good 2.5 years, I was on that trade show circuit going every weekend to Dallas, to Philly, to Chantilly, to Miami, to wherever in the country to do trade shows, to just meet with customers and meet with people in the hobby and be like, all right, like what are the biggest needs? What are the biggest needs? What are they saying? What are the pain points? And again, it all came back to liquidity, cycle time. That was when eBay had first launched like the authenticity program, and it was taking weeks, and it still takes a while, but it's taking weeks and weeks to get their cards that they bought online. And people were like, how can it just be easier for us to get more money up front so we can keep recycling it in our business, or putting the money in personal things that they need, buying a house, buying a car, whatever it may be. So we're like, the early struggles of building what we thought we wanted and the customer base needed, as opposed to actually talking to the customers and figuring that out. So that was an adjustment. But like I said, early on, like you have a good team, you can pivot and you can do a lot of great things in a quick amount of time, especially being tech forward and being able to adjust on the fly. So yeah.
Awesome. I mean, you're definitely right on the liquidity thing. So, a lot of people, don't realize that buying and selling cards. Yeah, it's a simple thing, but when you're trying to manage a large quantity of cards, bigger inventory and things like that, liquidity is like the number one thing, right? And I guess it's essential in actually running a proper business. So for me, I value liquidity as well, and that's one of the, I would say, the strongest value proposition that Alt actually gives at this point in time, which I'm going to touch on in a little bit, which is
Yes.
relating to the cash advance. But before that, right, just want to dial back a little bit to July of this year when you guys I wouldn't say raise, but more of obtain a 40 million of revolving credit. So I know that at the point in time when you made the announcement, there were a bit of confusion. I'm not sure whether you're aware that people thought that, oh, you entered into some sort of debt. to, do things. That 40 million bucks is quite a lot of money, but people don't realize that what's the actual concept of revolving credit, which is basically borrow in and repay, borrow in and repay, at a fee. And later
Yep.
on, when the nationals came by, and when you guys did your massive cash advance push during the show, I think it was what, 5 million bucks that you guys paid out
Yeah, they
during the
gave
show.
out over 5 million. Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
crazy. Seeing that
Yeah.
amount of money in one place is pretty daunting, but yeah, cool experience.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's when the light bulb hit to, even like for myself. I'm not sure about other people, but like I hit myself, man, that was an awesome strategy, right? To kind of like get a huge load of cash ammunition to really go into the market and really scoop up a bunch of inventory, which is I think is the hardest thing to do for any auction houses. Do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely the challenge. That was one of our other things. It was at first we were going to these trade shows and the card shows, and we were doing cash advances, but on account credit, and still great, still offers upfront liquidity. But we were seeing that customers were saying like, I get this account credit, but it's still dead in my account until I ACH it out next week. I can't do anything at this show, right? So we were like, all right, like we need to take this one step further. We have all the tools, we have all the valuation aspects, the data side of things. We can do this with real cash. Does add logistics on our side, but at least we're meeting the customer where they're at. And like every trade show that we are at that we do cash, I believe helps them tremendously because that just adds liquidity to the floor. If there's $5 million more in the national in cash in the room, it's helping out every dealer with people being able to walk around and spend it. It's helping every customer that is walking to be able to buy cards they want. So it adds to the ecosystem, which is a really good thing. It's been cool to see. It's been really cool.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. So like prior to the Macau show, right? So I had a bunch of
Yeah.
guys from all over Asia, from Philippines, from Singapore, from Hong Kong as well, asking me about questions because when they knew that you guys were coming, and of course, and you guys were gonna say they're gonna do cash advance. So everybody's like asking me, how does it work? How does it work? Because I have a bit of experience with it. So I was explaining to them,
Yeah.
exactly what you said, right? It's cash, right directly to you, right? Bring your cards there, scan your cards, lock it in, they'll give you some money. Okay. So and then you can go and spend it, whatever. So people were like, "Oh, cool, cool, cool." But what I didn't expect was the actual reception during the show itself. Like I spoke to Matt and he was telling me, look, after day one, we're almost out of money. We need to
Yeah.
go and get more cash. It's like, man, how much money are we talking about, right? So at the end of the day, it was 3 million, I think, by the time the weekend was over.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it was more in total value consigned. I think we hit over $4 million. It was quite impressive in a 3 day show. That is, or 2 day show. No, 3 day. 3 day
3 day
show is
show.
pretty
Yep.
unheard of. 3 day
Yep.
show, pretty unheard of. I was the cash guy too, so I was sweating bullets the whole time because I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna run out of cash on day one. Like, what are we gonna do? Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely some logistics there, but well received. It was really cool because I've been going to that Macau show since year one.
Yep.
Um, and each year, people progressively knew alt a little bit more, but I
Yep.
feel like this year we just caught fire.
Yep.
And it was so cool meeting everybody. And it was so cool connecting with everybody again and like actually being able to show them our product and that our product was helping.
Yep.
We could have brought $1 million more and given $1 million more away. Like there was opportunity for that. We just need to tighten up some things on our end, show
Yep.
process wise, so we can get through more quotes quicker. Because I'm sure you saw there's people at the booth constantly. We want to
Yeah.
be able to help customers out as quick as possible. So we'll iterate on that.
It was crazy, man. I mean, I spoke to Matt, and then he was telling me that, look, the cutoff is Sunday noon, all right, and then he'll be have a bit more time to catch up and chat afternoon when all the things said and done. He said, all right, cool. So when I came to your booth around like 4 o'clock, just to say hi to Matt, he was still busy going through cards, going through forms. It's like, man, you guys.
It was
So
nonstop. It was nonstop.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. Out of curiosity, right? It seems like to be like a working formula. Is there a reason why other major auction houses are not, doing so?
I'll be transparent with you. It is a logistical battle to get that much cash at any point on site at any time. It's a lot. As you can imagine, it's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of filing with banks. It's a lot of background jobs that are not seen. So like we have a wonderful team here, a very patient team, a very hardworking and diligent team to get that done, to get cash, especially in international countries. So shout out to them Shout out to Cassidy, shout out to Amber and the events team. Like they all do a really good job setting this up pre-show, and it's difficult. So I think that's one layer of complexity. And also, I believe and I'm biased, of course, but I believe our data and our pricing algorithm is best in class. So I don't think I think it's really difficult for anybody. I mean, even dealers, I mean, to do the volume that we do at a show and to price stuff that accurately and that quickly to where we have the conviction to offer 70 to 80% upfront on the spot. Because if we're wrong with our pricing, that's guaranteed money. So
Yeah.
we could really be losing money off the balance sheet, right? So
Yep.
um it's yeah, it's the valuation side of things and just the logistical aspect to get cash and the insurance policies and um the security needed and everything that goes into that, I think is the I guess the moat or the high barriers to entry that prevents other people from doing it.
Yep. I guess that's where the tech comes in, right? So conventionally, you have a dealer table, people bring up stuff, 100 cards, for example, and then you need to look up comps one by one and things like that.
Yep.
It's a process, right? So that's where the tech comes in. Scan the algorithm calculates what's the approximate value, and then you guys have perhaps have already a preset a percentage that you guys pay out, and then it goes punches spits out from the system, and then you just work out a total, something like that, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. That's essentially the process. You got it down, man. You know better than me. You can be an alt spokesperson.
Awesome, man. I want to touch a bit on some numbers, if you don't mind, right? So, maybe some key metrics like growth rate percentages, transactional volume size, average basket size. How's the process or how's the growth like? Since 2022 up to this year.
Yeah, I'd say pretty much since 2023 on when we launched the auction marketplace, it's been exponential growth ever since. Obviously, early on, a lot of pain points. It's tough to build a marketplace. It's a really tough thing to get buyers and sellers on there to take people off a legacy platform like an eBay, a Golden, a Fanatics, and get them comfortable with your new UI, get them comfortable with your new just user flow experience. It's a daunting task to get that many users in a short period of time and spin up a marketplace. So I would say after launching the auctions in 2023 and about 6 to 12 months later, getting our payment rails right to where it's seamless to pay, making sure like customers are paying, sellers are getting paid out. I would say we hit that explosive growth 2024 and been growing significantly. I mean, we're talking like 30% some months, just really significant growth from clients and just new people coming in. It's been really cool to see because it affects every area of our business. We get more auction consignment. It means that people are also vaulting with us and listing on our fixed price exchange. It also means that people have stuff vaulted with us and they can take loans if they need it. Because as you see right now, the card market is hot as ever.
Yep.
And sometimes it's better to just take a loan on your collection and go buy other cards and keep those cards as opposed to selling them and then they appreciate another 50% and you lost out on that.
Yep.
So yeah, it's been really cool to see. But yeah, been significant growth, I would say, definitely over the last 18 months. So it's been awesome. And that's a testament to you and that's a testament to other people that have come over from other various sources and tried us out and hopefully liked our product. And the good news is we're always iterating and we're always listening. I'm sure Matt's hit you up already, and if not, he will soon. And we always have people listening, asking, what can we do better? What's the better experience? Like, how do we help the international market more? What can we do? Like, because obviously we're collectors and sometimes we get too in the weeds because we're in the company and doing things every day, but it's nice to hear fresh perspectives from our customers of what they need and being nimble enough to actually build what they're asking. So, yeah, long story short, we're growing and it's great. And the card market is thriving and that's all you can ask for, right?
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. I'm just a bit curious. So when you guys, launched that auction marketplace initially in 2023, did you guys go out directly, to engage with customers to come on board, or was it just something that you just had a big launch and then it kind of grew organically?
It was a give and take. So like when we launched initially, we were going out in the market and buying from others and then listing some of the best inventory possible on our site so that we could get the right buyers involved. And it was like a chicken or the egg. Do you get the sellers first? Do you get the buyers? So like we went out and got inventory so that we get the high end inventory that people wanted to come to our platform and purchase. And then you get the sellers from that. And it's again, it's a long process. It's a long slog to get there, but I'd say we started with just listing the best in class inventory, the type of clients we wanted to attract and like show like, alt to player, alt can like has great inventory. And from there, like we built out like the BP tiers and like tried different things out with the payment rails and different policies, and like now like an hour after auctions charging because we want to get our sellers paid. So a lot of iteration, but um yeah, it was definitely like just getting the right inventory first and getting the right customers on board because, big customers move the needle and it's all word of mouth. So if one person has a good experience, other people in turn also come on board because they're sharing it and it's very organic. You don't want to just like push alt down people's throats. You want people to talk about it with one another and be like, this is a good option. Give them a shot and then them figure it out for themselves. So yeah.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. So, I mean, if you talk about the major auction houses, like I would categorize them as, let's say, the gold standard of auction houses. I would have you guys, all, I will have Finex Collect, and I'll have Goldin, and all of you have your plus and minuses. All right, but
Yeah.
I'll rank all of you kind of like in the same category, and then of course you have eBay, which is a different category altogether because that's more general, that's more vast. Okay, so but just comparing the three of you guys. Okay, now I'm not talking about the size or how much dollars that you guys revenue dollars things like that. But in terms of trying to get ahead, what do you think that your strong points are in terms of comparing to the other two?
Yeah. I mean, first and foremost, just overarching theme, like we are a company that is built for collectors by collectors. So we use our product every day. So we're like seeing what the pain points are. Lior's listing cards all the time on the website. Like we are constantly using the product and we're like still buying and selling cards, all of us. So like we still see the pain points. So I think you could see that like we've only been around for 5 years. We're growing really fast. I'm excited because like we've finally gotten to the point where I feel like we're at product parity or about the same level as all the other competitors, right? Like we have auctions, it's well versed, there's great inventory, it's growing. Um, the fact that you group us with Fanatics and Golden just shows that like we're at this same level right now, and now we have the chance to go innovate and like push forward because we've already been around 5 years and already gotten to that point. Now we can push forward and actually do some new things and fun things for the hobby. Like the cash advance thing is the first one, right? Like 4 years ago, if you said an auction house was going to cash advance any card that you submit to auction, I mean, 250 and up, and on big cards, up to 80%, 90% on the spot before they even go to auction, I think we would have been like, wow, that's crazy. I don't know how that's possible, but like we're doing that,
Yeah.
right? So there's some more stuff that I can't share yet, but it's coming down the pipeline. I'm really excited to like launch some new things that I just think will continue to innovate. But cash advances, I mean, that's got to be this like the one thing I can point to right now that is just like so unique because it's not like we're offering it on one-off cards. Like, oh, you have a nice Jordan Exquisite, we're going to offer you an advance on that card, but not the others. Every card people send into the vault, every card that they can sign at a show, if you do it in a batch large enough, I think it's like $250 total is the
Yep.
minimum. You're going to
Yep.
get a cash advance on it. That's significant. That's significant liquidity to the overall market. So that would definitely be, I think, the way we're winning market share. And our selling prices are awesome right now. They're
Yes.
awesome. They're
Yes.
they're at, if not exceeding, levels of a Golden or Fanatics, especially on certain cards. We see that our kabooms on our site are popping off, gold, black prisms, like all that stuff. Like it's doing really well and we're hitting record sales. So it's just nice to be like playing in that market with all the big competitors. So it's a really, really fun time, really exciting time.
Yeah, yeah. I want to touch on that though. The record highs are definitely amazing to see. You look at your Instagram. There's record highs on this, record highs on that. So
Yeah,
I mean, from a spectator point of view, that's awesome, right? But of course, you have your fair share of critics, right? How can
of
one
course. Yeah.
auction house have so many record highs, and people start to think, something that may be going behind the scenes, which obviously, right, the topic of shill bidding, it's being rampant. Everybody's when something goes out of the ordinary, people say, oh, it's been shill. It's somebody's just pumping it up and things like that. So what's your take on this? That it's not just you. I think it's affecting all the other auction houses as well. But what's your general take on this shill bidding?
Totally. I mean, we have to have tight internal controls. That's like one of the things you need in an auction house to remain with integrity and trustworthiness. One of our policies too is for the marketing department, they cannot list any cards online and like publicize the sales if they don't get paid for. So like we're not publicizing anything that's unpaid. You know, that's like the number one rule, right? Like you don't want to just throw out false comps into the market. So we're actively making sure everything's getting paid. And you see like we add, hour after auction, we're charging customers accounts that are buying cards because there's no need to wait, right? Like we want to get people paid. We want to do it as soon as possible, have tight internal controls, and don't publicize things that aren't real, right? So that's one thing you can be rest assured is that like anything we publicize online is getting paid for. We're not trying to, inflate a fake market, right? So we're not playing into that. And trustworthiness is just key. And again, like the tight internal controls, like making sure like only very specific people have access to certain like data and stuff to just, keep everything tight. So it's just a hot market. And I think the term record sale gets overused a lot. I will admit, I think from all of us, I think we're just like, every time a one-on-one sells, it's a record sale. So I think people just get fatigued with that. Maybe we need to come up with some new marketing concepts. But yeah, to see 100 record-breaking sale posts every week, I get could be tiresome. But it's true. I mean, if a Tim Duncan Immaculate 101 RPA or a Patch Auto sells, it's technically the highest record sale. It's the only time it's ever sold. So I think it's just overused. And I think people just get fatigued with that too.
Yeah.
So some unique marketing should be coming down the pipeline. But just know, I think the main point is that we're not going to ever publicize anything that's not real. And I think that's really important for the market because you need that transparency. And until we have complete transparency from every player, from dealer to alt golden, we can't have a true like efficient marketplace, right? Like we have to get rid of
Correct.
fraud altogether.
Correct.
And that takes everybody. That's not just going to happen with alt. It's got to take everybody. So
Yep.
I'm really committed to that because I do think there's significant opportunity for institutional investment to come in, a JP Morgan to come in and drop $100 million in a sports card fund, or what Shine is doing with Kevin O'Leary and building these awesome funds. So I think there's more opportunity for that, and it's going to take transparency and an efficient market. So yeah.
Yep. Just to add on to that, right, for people who don't realize, so
Yeah.
on your platform itself, when a card is sold, it's if you go look at history, it's gonna say it's pending, right? Means it's unpaid, and when it's paid, it's changed to sold. So that gives indication that the card has been paid. And when you go to like card letter, it only appears in comps and it has written that confirmed paid. So that's when people know that it's a deal that generally has gone through. As compared to some of the others on eBay or whatever, when a card is just sold on eBay, it just pops into the system. Whether it's sold, whether it's paid or not, that we have no real idea. But you guys, make it very clear on what's pending and what's sold.
Exactly. That was controversial when we did that too. People are like, why are you doing this? Why is it pending? Why, like, what is all this like? But again, it's another layer of transparency. And like, we keep trying to add layers to that. So like, we're always open to feedback too. If there's things that people think we need in the industry, like hit support at alt tech XYZ. They're like, I'll shamelessly plug that. Like, hit us in support, tell us what you guys are seeing, what you want. And we keep logs of everything. We hear everything that comes in. We have customer advisory boards. We're always talking. Like, if there's ways we can improve, we will do it. So don't be quiet. Say what's on your mind. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. I want to touch on a bit about the international market. Okay, so
Yeah.
like I mentioned prior to the Macau show, people asking me lots of questions. How does this all work? How does cash advance work? Is all a good platform? So that just points that there is not as much of exposure for your brand or your platform compared to some of the other auction houses that's out there. So what are you guys doing? Try to increase the visibility. Of course, Macau show is one step, and that's once a year, right? So what else are you guys doing to kind of get yourself out there to the international space?
Yeah. First off, love the international space. I think I told you, because are you in Malaysia?
Yes.
Yes, you're in Malaysia. So I grew up in Singapore. So like Southeast Asia and just Asia as a whole is like very near and dear to my heart. So to answer your question about how we're helping the international market and where we want to go with it, obviously showing up at the Macau show and just meeting people is very important. I think especially in international culture, like just showing up and shaking hands with people and like meeting them face to face is a really important thing. So the fact that we've been at that Macau show since the beginning, like we're really wanting to establish strong relationships, and we're signing consignment partners. We signed our first consignment partner in Macau, so they're going to be taking in cards from other people in China China mainland, and shipping them back and handling all logistics on behalf of their customers and consigning to alt. So that's another way we just have like another hub basically in China, just collecting and sharing about us to people that we didn't get to meet at the Macau show. So I think signing consignment partners is going to be huge. I believe that there's an opportunity to figure out like this whole with the tariffs going crazy and stuff. Like we're trying to figure out a system to efficiently get cards in and out of China legally and like everything on the up and up because I think that's a huge pain point for a lot of people and just making sure people can get paid. I think that's the other big one, how to get money in and out of, mainland China, Malaysia, Singapore, like all these different payment rails in different countries. It's definitely like a huge barrier to entry. I don't know if any auction house has completely figured it out yet. So we're like, we want to expand into those markets and we're doing the due diligence to figure out exactly how to do so, talking with people like yourself and talking with, Metaverse Cards and other really amazing brands in all of these international countries. So it's a long-tailed thing. It took us 5 years to really gain a market hold in the United States. So the fact that we don't have a team yet, also looking to hire internationally, um, the fact that we don't have a team over internationally across the pond quite yet just means it's going to take a bit longer. But we're open to all ideas. We're talking every day with, especially China mainland customers and just seeing like how we can help, how we can meet the customer with what they need. I think that's the ethos of our company. So yeah, long story short, we're investigating every possible way and signing up people that want to work with us. So it's a good start.
Yeah, cool. I guess China is a great place to start, right? It's one of the biggest consumers of new products, especially. But of course,
Yeah.
you can't forget people from other parts of like Australia. Australia is huge as well. So I know a lot of people down under, and they're not very familiar at all. Surprisingly, right? So
Yeah.
people are talking Finance Collect, talking Goldine, and I mentioned, oh, it's like, yeah, we heard of them. So so I think for those guys who came to Macau, yeah, I think that was their first taste of what you guys have to offer. But of course, in terms of big exposure, it's a huge market down there. So definitely that's another place to explore.
Absolutely. I know Grayson pretty well from Cherry Collectibles, and
Yep.
he's awesome and has an amazing shop. And we met Nidjesh, who's one of the biggest breakers in New Zealand, actually. So somewhat close to Australia, maybe 6 hour flight. But yeah, definitely just trying to make those inroads. And again, it's going to take introductions. It's going to take word of mouth. But we're open to having any conversation. And one of the ways we're also being, I didn't even mention this, one of the ways we're being very aggressive with getting customers internationally. Like you said, they're one of the largest consumers of the new products. So when a flawless comes out, the triple logo man we have on auction, like we're pushing out very significant and aggressive cash advances because we want the best inventory and working with the biggest buyers and sellers internationally. So we are offering really significant cash advances, especially on those marquee cards. Like triple logo mans and Luca first Lakers 101 logo mans, like we're being very aggressive. So shameless plug that if you're pulling those type of cards, if you're a breaker, if you're a consumer and you want to just hear us out, send us a message, use Snap to sell, see what we'll offer because it'll be significant. It might be worth your time. So
I'm a bit
yeah.
curious, right, on the pitch. So whenever a huge card like that, like Triple Logo Man comes to your attention, and then how does the pitch work for you? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I think it depends obviously from consignment director to consignment director and what the relationship is. But I mean, ultimately at the end of the day, like us as an auction house, when you consign a card with us, we become partners in that card, right? Like we want to get you the highest selling price possible. It benefits us, it benefits you. Like we become a partner. And that's what people don't realize sometimes because a lot of times up front it's negotiation on buyer's premium, it's negotiation on cash advance. And we think we're up and it feels like you're in opposition until you actually make that agreement and now you're partners and now you work together. Now you do customer testimonies of how you pull the card and how you market the card. I think some of our pitches is just like, again, like we are very aggressive on cash advances. If it's a premier card that we want to be top card in our auction, we're going to offer 90% cash advance because we really believe that card's going to perform well. And we're going to partner with you on that and be like, this is how much we're going to stick to our guns. Like we will give you this much cash up front because we know we're going to perform well. We want you to feel protected and we're going to work together on this. So I think that's really it. Like You realize you're partners in this thing and you guys work together. We make sure you feel comfortable with the cash advance. We make sure you feel good with the buyer's premium. And I mean, this from $1,000 deal to $1 million deal. The plan doesn't change. It's we partner on all these cards and we're gonna try to get you the most you can for your cards, and make sure they get paid for. So, um, yeah, that's kind of the high level pitch, but,
No, no,
it doesn't matter, yeah, with the value, yeah.
that sounds great, man. I guess one thing that comes to people's mind, especially from from Asia, it's the logistical part. Even today, people from Asia, some of my friends who are not so big time collectors, they are more on a small scale. Even for a $250 card, they have a bit of reservations, sending it by mail. Okay, so
Absolutely, yeah.
how do you convince somebody who has like $100,000 card or a $200,000 card to really, you know, put your card with you, right? Without meeting you face to face.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of consultation too, because we have people on staff that are like experts in shipping logistics. So, and especially our vault staff. So it's a lot of consultation of like how you're going to get the card there, what's the best route to go, what shipping service, what shipping carrier. If it's a big enough card, we will literally hire a armored truck transport to take the card from China back to the US or from Malaysia back to the US. Like we will work with you on that. I believe for the triple logo, man, don't don't hold me to this or quote me on it. I believe we had an armored truck pick it up and an
Wow.
armored service take it back to the US because we partnered with the customer and said, like, look, like it's gonna cost 3 to 4 grand. Like we'll get it done and we'll take this card back because yeah, you don't want $1 million card coin missing in the mail. So
Yeah.
um yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a lot of consultation on like the smaller batches where like an armored truck doesn't make sense or a transport service, but we will go to those lengths to help you out if that's needed.
Well,
So rest
I
assured, we'll take care of you.
I can imagine if let's say I were to sell like a $200,000 card and an armored truck were to show up in front of my house, that's gonna draw a lot of attention from my neighbors.
It's more subdued than you think. It's more subdued than you think. We're not
Right.
talking like a Brinks truck. It's like a van that is protected and like
Right, right,
whatever. But
right.
they do great work. And
Yeah.
obviously, like they're not going to drive the truck back to the United States from China. They're going to
Yeah,
fly
yeah.
it. But at least it's all. The key is just making sure insurance wise you're protected at all times. Defend again, $1,000 package, $1 million shipment. Like just making sure that you're doing everything the right way and that you're protected if anything goes wrong because some things are out of our control. You can't always control it. So making sure you can control how you're covered in the event of something going wrong is the important part, and that's what we help with.
Awesome, awesome, man. All right, cool. This
Yeah.
this been interesting. So I guess before we close up, I'm going to give you an opportunity to make a lightning pitch, okay, to potential buyers or potential sellers, who is whether familiar or not familiar with your platform, just to come aboard. What would you say to them, in a couple of sentences?
Yeah. I mean, I just say, look, we're collectors. We understand the needs in the industry. Um, we're not going to pressure anybody, but we want to work with the hobby and we want to grow it and we want to continue to provide value. So if you're looking to consign cards, get a loan, vault, full end service spectrum, like we are a nimble team that is tech oriented that can build quickly and also have a great service of product from cash advances to loans. And if you want to work with us, we would love to talk to you or just have that initial conversation and just get to know you because cards are awesome. I will look at them all day the rest of my life, regardless if I'm in sports cards or not. And just having those conversations are just fun for all of us. So reach out, come say what's up at a trade show. We're always there. So appreciate that.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. Thanks, Chris, for your time on today's podcast. Appreciate this very, very much.
Thank you, Peng. No, it's great to connect. It was cool seeing you in Macau, and I'm sure we'll see you soon. You gonna come to National?
Oh, US is quite a long way for me though, so we'll see. We'll
Okay,
see.
Macau was a long way for us. Come
Uh,
on now.
we'll see. I think, to be honest, it's kind of easier for you to come here than me to go there. Okay, so
That's fair. That's
yeah,
fair. I'll give you that. I'll give you
yeah.
that.
All
But
right, man.
no, that'd
Thanks
be
so
great
much.
to see you. Yeah.
Cool, man. Thank you so much again. And we'll catch up soon. That's it for this episode of the Courtside Investor Podcast. Like, subscribe for this channel for more interesting interviews. Thanks for watching, guys. On behalf of Chris, see ya.